All right, welcome back. It's been 2 months, but we are back. We are live, and we are here. The closing table is in the house, literally, thanks to NextHome Brandywine and Dan Pizzi, the guy right next door to me, sporting that beautiful Eagles jersey and sporting his brand new logo right behind him. He's got drum machines going over there. But people are calling him to buy houses. That's what's going on. So, right now, make sure we're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk a lot of fun stuff. And we are also going to give away a pair of tickets to the Reading Fighting Phils. This was my hat that I actually was given when I got to throw out the first pitch at the Reading Fighting Phils game 5 years ago. And I have the names here that I'm going to put in that hat. And we're going to do that maybe in the middle of the show. So you're going to have to hang out and you're going to learn about real estate and you're going to learn about what an amazing man Dan is, what a respectable man is, and also what a knowledgeable man Dan is in the world of real estate, life, and much more. And of course, the person keeping us in line, we might lose him from time to time. He's out in Dallas, Texas. There's tornadoes going on, but he's still here, and he's got his screwdrivers and a little wrench, the one and only Hub Ridgell. What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
Very tumultuous, but I'm making it.
Hey, we're all making it.
Yeah, you just got to have peace of mind. When you got peace of mind, things can go crazy on the outside, but you'll still be doing good on the inside, and it won't faze you. Is that right, Dan? I am not hearing Dan. Are you hearing Dan?
No, what happened to Dan? We lost your volume, Dan. Now try it. No.
How's that?
There we go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
See, my engineer is not here. He left me, so I had to panic and figure out how to use this expensive microphone that I bought. So what I was I keep touching it. What I was saying was that Bay had a little worse, but not to get into details. We both had hospital stints, so we missed last month. We had a little bit of illness. Everybody's doing good now. Hub is the healthiest of the three of us below us here. So we missed last month. We're back again this month. We're looking for just the three of us having a chat here about real estate, some screwdrivers, and some other things. Behind me, you'll see my new personal logo. Everybody's doing a personal logo now with their brand. Danny just did that for me. So my son's looking into digital arts in school. And our corporate's very strict with logos and branding, like extremely strict. You never one time do you get them approve a logo. First time, they loved it. They approved it right away. So shout out to my son because he did a great job on my personal branding logo. You'll see that now on a lot of our marketing materials now. That's my dog, Jessa, right there behind my head. And that's our new personal. It's every little detail to separate yourself from the competition. Let's introduce Hub, and then we'll get in a little bit of real estate talk and go from there. Hub, how are you, buddy? And how is the weather in Texas? I saw some terrible video of the tornadoes.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really strange how one day everything can just go crazy, but it happens, you know. I had some major trees come down and all kinds of stuff, and you know, I could get it done right away, or I could wait about a week or less, and then I could wait till everything slows down, and these guys would probably give me a little bit of bargain. So
yeah, true.
That's probably better. It's probably better to wait and save $500 or something like that at least, maybe $1,000 even.
I saw some funnel clouds. Were they any of that stuff close to you?
Oh, I didn't. We didn't. I was sleeping through it. It goes off. It happened. I woke up and Ann said to me, "You've missed it. It was from like 6 o'clock to 6:30."
Yeah, I heard the news always picks the worst stuff. So they were in Texas.
No, it's bad. It's bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's the funnel cloud is crazy, but the sirens went off and all that kind of stuff. The funnel cloud is real crazy. That kind of stuff is really bad. That will like come in and there'll be a neighborhood where there'll be like 20 houses and maybe it could only hit like 3 and destroy 3 completely.
So, did you get sirens down there? See, we don't have that up here.
Yeah, we have sirens because we have storms here like crazy. But I don't ever remember any of that when I was a kid. I just don't remember. I don't remember ever seeing a tornado, and I don't ever remember it being this often or anything.
It fascinates me. The sirens fascinate me when those air raid siren things go off.
It is. Do they have that in Philly?
No, we're too ignorant up here. We don't have.
Do they have it in Nashville?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Franklin's.
I hear that because they go off often. I hear that here in my house, and I'm like, whoa! It's like right in my backyard.
Yeah, we don't have it up here.
Well, I don't remember anything like this. They're over by St. Mark's, this really exclusive private school, and over there when they had a tornado a few years ago, there's a place there were duplexes, and it's really not expensive area. So what they did was the tornado came in and knocked out like 4.5 duplexes. So one guy's still living in the good half of the duplex, and they built another house connected to it.
Wow.
And then on the other side of the street, where they were completely destroyed, they put, since it's such a exclusive, the land is worth so much, instead of 2 duplexes, they put 2 new houses.
Yeah. And Hub and I have been going back and forth with some of this craziness that's going on with the real estate, because it is very diversified in a lot of different fronts right now.
Yeah, I just saw that in Austin, Texas, the housing availability, the houses for sale is double in Austin to what it is in the national level. So it's like around 10% availability of houses right now, or 10% of more houses are for sale than were before a month ago. And now there's 20% more than a month ago in Austin.
I wonder what's driving that, Hub.
Because there's more. They've built too much in Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Yep. And
hey, let's talk about Houston for a second. Did you see what Houston was just named? Anybody see it? It just came out yesterday.
Well, you got to understand. I'm in Dallas. Dallas and Houston has always been a huge rivalry.
They're like enemies, aren't they?
There's some nicknames. There's some nicknames you don't want me to say.
Well, you'll like that. Which I enjoyed my time in Houston. We went out.
I wasn't. I didn't say that was true. I'm just telling you that they do.
Oh, I know. Well, here's something for you. Houston was named the dirtiest city in America.
It's a good town. Otherwise, people wouldn't live there.
And there's a lot of people moving there. There's a lot of tech sector. Like, it's really booming down there. A lot of people you talk to. Bay, what were you going to say? Did you forget what you were going to say?
What I was going to say was, you've been in the real estate business for 18 years now, Dan?
Yeah, 18 years.
And you just said it like 2 minutes ago. The real estate industry and business right now is just so out of hand and out of control and just crazy. It's just crazy. Did you ever picture in your mind what is going on now to actually
especially veteran people that knew what the houses were just 15 years ago? And, for the last 7 years, it's been on this rise. And we were saying, like my wife says, I say the same things over and over again, but every year we kind of say to clients and just, hyperbole, speculation, I can't see it going any higher. I can't. And then the next year comes out, and that, we have what you guys don't have as much of. Our real estate is driven by seasons because our weather's drastically different. So,
well, ours is too.
Yeah, you don't take those deep dives like us. Like if it gets too cold and snowy, you don't see people out. But our barometer has always been Super Bowl. After Super Bowl is when people up here in the Northeast start perking up and getting an idea on whether they're going to list for spring market. And then we set these new standards for pricing. So out of the gate this year, I'll give you an example, Bay. They were saying, I think it was April, that Delaware County for the first 3 months was up $40,000 in average list price over last year. Now, mind you, that is up from the 6 prior years, but to be jumping in those large percentages, and I'm jumping all over the place, but I wanted to say something that Hub was mentioning about new construction. We do not have a lot of new construction. So it's a supply and demand thing right now here. Our available inventory is still low, and the demand for buyers is really, I think it looks more heightened because the supply is so low, but it's like at a frenzy's peak with buyers. Just we're getting 7, 8, 9, 10 offers on every house.
Let me ask you this, Dan. Like, what do you think? Like, and I said this statement to you before we went live. Like, where do you think all these people and buyers are coming from? Because here in Nashville, like, I'm seeing constantly, like, still the building and building and building and building, and you say to yourself, where are these people coming from? Is it just the fact that, like, the generations are getting older, they're growing up, and they're ready to buy houses now? Or, I mean, where are they?
I think
you have better policies in your state than a lot of states. That's why they're moving to Nashville and Texas and Florida.
It is true. But for us up here, I think it's the COVID effect is still real and there, right? So post-COVID, a lot of people waited to buy, right? Because it was such a flurry post-COVID. And I think, what are we, 3 full years out of that now? 4 years out of that now? So I do think that it was a little bit of that reaction post-COVID. And I also, this is on my personal opinion, a lot of people were saying the prices are going to go down. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. Now they see that it's not happening, and they think, well, if there's any feasibility for us to get in, we better jump in because these prices are not going backwards.
Yeah. Do you think at all those prices will go backwards at all, or do you think it's just going to keep rising?
I've been saying this. I'm very conservative. My pop was conservative. We're conservative people. Example, I left Fallcroft 22 years ago. The row home behind me when I left was up for $54,900. That same row home today will sell for $280,000. And I dare say, how many people are making that much more money than they did 20 years ago? Most people are not really making much more money, if not any more money, maybe less money than they were in the average workman-like sector than they were 20 years ago. The prices have gone through the roof. Now,
but it's not the money they're making. It's that they have bought and then bought up. They've bought, sold, and then bought up.
But let me tell you this story, Hub, on that real quick. So I just put finally my doctor, my son's karate master, in 6.5 years they looked. When we started looking, they were just getting married. I just put them in a house just a few months back. Now they have 3 kids and a dog, and they just got in 6.5 years. And what they didn't do, Hub, is they were very conservative in pulling the trigger, which was their prerogative. But I said to them, if they did, then they would have had that money to buy up, and they would have had equity in their first house. And we were talking when we did the deal, and they were saying to me, you know what? If we bought this house or that house, we probably would have had 80 or 100,000 in equity to go be a move-up buyer.
The problem with people buying up right now is the interest rates.
Hub, it's through the roof. And
if they had bought with a low interest rate, I'm thinking it'd be a lot more work, but it would be wiser money-wise for them to keep that house and rent it out.
Some people are.
Even if you have to go live in an apartment, you still got money coming in every month.
Yeah, some people are diversifying like that. I mean, a lot of people want what they want when they want it, and that's a problem. That's
everywhere. Yeah.
We were talking, me and Bay were talking before we jumped on, and you know, the numbers, like you were just saying, the numbers are so high because the interest rate's hanging around 7%, and you know, the association fees have went up. So the cost to get into a lot of these houses, you know, most of the association fees right now in these townhomes and stuff, the affordable housing where people can get in if they're a first-time home buyer, they're $3 to $4 bills a month.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, I'm looking for my niece right now, and another thing is what they call the capital contribution to buy into the association when you purchase a home. This one we're looking at $1,600. So you're $1,600 up front on top of your closing costs, and then you have a $300 to $400 a month association fee, and you have a 7% interest rate on a townhome that's between $300,000 and $350,000. I don't care how much money you're making; it's a big number.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I'd ever want to live in a home association place if I could help.
Yes. Hey, Hub, a lot of the affordable housing that are newer, because the younger people don't want the housing where me and Bay grew up in those old Upper Darby neighborhoods and stuff because they need work. So they want the newer construction. And a lot of them are because in the 90s and 2000, earlier 2000s, they went to these homeowners associations up here because it was easier for the builder and easier for the municipality.
Yeah, but they keep changing the rules on them, and they screw everybody around.
And it's a problem.
But you know what?
It is.
Places like where Bay lives in Nashville and in Dallas, if you have a house that you got a low interest rate on, you could rent it out, and there are amazing, incredible apartments you could live in temporarily for a while, and you just be collecting money.
People are doing
it. They're doing that?
They're doing it up here. In fact, I was just talking to a guy just a little different than what we're talking about there, but I have this place that I sold the guy, and he wants to rent it. And you know what's big up here now? Really, really big, what they would call corporate rentals. So for airline pilots and stewardess, and for like for example, a guy called me up from Brent Selleck Realty, Bay, who's Brent Selleck used to be Eagles tight end. He owns a real estate company and media now.
No, does he really?
Yeah, big time. So his broker, Tim, one of the nicest guys you'll meet, really, really great guy. He called Tim DiBernardino, wonderful guy. He called me up. He said, might have something for your rental down in Bethel. It's just a small cape. My guy bought it because it was part of her portfolio. He said to rent it. So long story short, he said, I have people coming in the area to working for the electric company, changing out electric meters. He wants a 6-month lease, corporate rental. He said after they leave, he can probably put other people back through. So what they do is they go to these professional companies and they go out and they find places to sublet on short-term leases, contracted for more money than you would get on a regular monthly basis for the most part. But they rent them to professionals, and they rent them to like the airline pilots and the professional people that have to come in for short stints to come into different like engineers and stuff like that. But there's big money in that type of rental market, almost like a Airbnb, but like I used to do in England, rent somebody's personal property for a little bit longer period of time.
Well, they have another thing called furnish finders, and it's mainly nurses that you rent to. And,
they do.
And a nurse is highly, highly going to be taking care of your property because they're very methodical and they make good money and they work a lot. And you can actually even do it to where you keep a room in your house and you have 2 other nurses living in your house.
Yeah,
which is a great idea too.
Hey, Hub, this guy called us and this one's not furnished. Do you know they're going to bring furniture in and furnish the whole place for them because they want it furnished for the professionals when they go in there because they're going to stay on that short stint. So they're literally going to furnish it. Because
renting is such a fantastic thing. If you can figure out a way to do it and get interested in doing it and want to do it, because it basically seems like free money just coming in every month.
Well, here's the problem on the rental side. I have a lot of investors.
Oh, I know it's hard. I said it's hard. It's really
you know
difficult.
What the problem is now? There's no inventory. I have my friend Troy, and he does a lot of investing, and we don't have anything that, he's about ready for another one, and we've been talking. I said, Troy, there's nothing that makes sense for you to buy because there's nothing in that reasonable price point that would make, because it's a straight business decision, would make sense money-wise.
Well, it sounds like they're not building that much up there.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Is that because there's too much red tape, or is there's no place to build?
I think there's a lot of different factors. In fact, I was listening to a 1210 WPHT this week, and they were talking about the news station here, and they were talking about some of the new projects in Philadelphia, which could actually bring more interest in being in this area. They were talking about Penn's Landing doing that bridge over to Old City, so it connects downtown with the waterfront. So they're working on that. So there's a lot of projects going on in the city that are tying to the real estate market, which I found interesting. There was several different projects going on. And one of them was that bridge. Bay, remember Penn's Landing? Like they're going to put another whole bridge area that ties you in from a pedestrian all the way into Old City downtown.
You know what? When I was back there back in September, when my buddy picked me up from the airport and I had him drive me through my old neighborhood where I lived for the last 22 years in like Aston, Concordville, Glen Mills area. And that area was so different. Like Route 1, where the Franklin Mint and all that used to be, by the Wawa corporate offices.
How about the new parking lot and the new Wawa train station they put down there?
Yes.
Where the old Paul Stations was.
Yes. I'm just like, it's crazy. So I didn't even get to venture into Philly. I'm supposed to be, fingers crossed, coming there first week in August. And I'm going to, my plan is to really get out and explore more. And I'm going to be blown away. I know it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we talk Glen Mills, Concordville, Aston, that whole area. That's where all the people that had a few dollars from Delaware County have moved. That's where the upper middle class, and they've really moved to those areas. And the houses are pushing, so much like Newtown Square, the houses are pushing like $1 million.
Well, I know the house I owned for 20 years, I'll say. I paid in 99, I think I ended up buying it. I bought it from my landlord, and I paid $84,000.
That's insane.
That house sold for $300,000.
Yeah. Same with my house on School Lane in Fallcroft. It wasn't an affluent area. We had a twin. I bought it off Dad for $85,000, and right now they're going for upper twos, almost $300,000.
Now here's something that blew me away, Dan. You said about in Fallcroft. When my mom passed away, the house was left to me in Upper Darby. I sold that house for $64,000 in 1989, I think it was. And I constantly, I'm obsessed with that house. And I constantly, at least once a month, I'll do a search to see if it came up for sale. And, like these sites like Zillow and Redfin and all that, they'll give you like an estimate. And I'm surprised now, like it's only saying like $160,000.
I'm going to tell you why. The taxes are very high.
They are.
And then this is off the record because we're not allowed to talk about it. The school district.
Emergency! The car fucking is on fire.
I got to get my car's on fire. Talk.
Okay.
The fucking car all of a sudden started making bad noise as she was going in to park.
Hey, we never have a dull moment here on the closing table.
This closing table podcast is always always something. We're live, folks, so that's what happens when we're live.
Live radio, man.
And it's
never
like
a dull moment.
And I know Coco well enough. She's usually not that demonstrative per se. So I was interested. I was like, "Well, what's going on? Is that the car that he just bought?"
It might be because he just got out of it. But it is what it is. And the thing is that car, he bought it from a mechanic, a guy who's like a home mechanic. So it'll be okay.
We were just talking about this. We were just talking about this earlier that he just.
Yeah, I don't think it might not be anything major.
Just went to get tires. You know what's funny though? What people don't realize, when you're leaking, like that was a mechanic, when you're leaking fluids, it can combust because it can go on a hot manifold, and it could combust and you could start a fire. People leave their oil leaking where they have a heavy oil leak. That can start a fire in cars. I mean, that's why when my Subaru was the head gasket was going, I didn't want it because it was dripping on the manifold and all. And I didn't want to hold out too long because I was afraid that it could catch fire.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We got to get back to real estate because I think people.
Yeah, let's go another few minutes and then we'll cut this. But let's go another. Since me and you are both on, go ahead. Let's have one more conversation here and then we'll cut it off this month.
Well, no, we got to finish it. We're here. We got to do it. If you have time. Here's the thing, is that in a place like Philly, there's not building anymore, and so the prices are going to go up. They're not coming down.
It's true.
Unless they're going to figure out a way to build more. But it sounds like a lot of those cities have so much red tape and so much.
They do.
Is that true?
It is, especially in Philadelphia. A lot of it's pay to play. They've been doing better with progressing with stuff. in recent years because they have to for the economics of it, for the health of the city. But it is true. And a simple supply and demand factor, like it's the 5 collar counties around Philadelphia: Montgomery, Bucks, Chester, Delaware County. What am I missing? Forget what and I guess Philadelphia County in there. They are the 5 counties. As you move further out, there's more land. They are building to a certain degree, so you have a little bit of more of an opportunity for inventory. But in and around the city and in Delaware County especially, and even Bucks County, northern Montgomery County, there's a little bit of land they can build on. But Hub, there's no land for them to put new construction unless they knock something down. So, you're limited on the inventory.
Well, now there was another video that the guy said that the reason in Austin that a lot of people, the prices are going down, etc., is because a lot of people are moving out because they moved and they expected Texas to be like California, and the base of people are really not like California. In a lot of ways they are, because Texans are very similar to California in that they're very Western, but they expected it to be like California, and it wasn't.
Did you send me that article? Because I just read an article about that a lot of people that moved out to Texas are kind of migrating out again.
Well, they've been there for 5 or 6 years and they're leaving out.
What about the tech sector? What was the big tech sector? Was that Austin? That was all the techs were coming into down there?
The whole big city, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Dallas are all tech. Huge. They call Dallas Silicon Prairie.
It's interesting.
But I have a list right here of 5 cities that have gone up exponentially this year. And the biggest one is Anaheim, because they're not building there either.
My aunt's over there. Yeah, it's saturated. Yep.
It's gone up 21% this year.
Wow, it's a big number.
A condo costs $1.1 million in Orange County. Not just Anaheim, I think the whole Orange County. Over $1 million.
It's crazy.
And the other one is West Palm Beach. It's gone up 15%.
Beautiful down there.
And also Detroit's gone up 15%.
Detroit's actually bouncing back. They got a lot of businesses coming to Detroit. They're actually bouncing back over there. I can see.
Well, they always have. The problem is before they didn't diversify like they should have. They just had the auto.
Yeah.
But it's got to be an amazing town. Some of the things that they tore down and stuff are really a shame. They tore them down because it's amazing things. But they tear down stuff in the West here all the time that they shouldn't be tearing down.
Just as a side note here, don't forget, folks, we talk national stuff on this show too. We have nationwide referrals. NextHome has 770 offices nationwide. I can match you with an agent in Texas, in Oklahoma, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, and the other one is in California. It's 13.2 for San Jose has gone up.
Another area that there seems to be more business moving into that area as well.
That's in the Bay Area.
Yeah. It's funny with the Bay Area.
Right.
It's south. Is that south or north of the Bay? South. Right?
I'm not sure about San Jose. I have not been to San Jose. I've been to Oakland. I've been to.
Bay, are you back?
Okay, now we need a news update. Bay is back live. How's the car going? Bay is back live, and we're going to have a news update. Please give us a news update. We want to know, Bay, what's happening.
The radiator blew up.
Okay, is it okay? Is it going?
It's not on fire, but the radiator blew up.
So it was overpressurized, and there was a leak in the radiator, and it just blew.
Okay, so that's not that big. It's not that terrible.
The top half of the radiator, where the hose was going into the radiator, literally blew apart.
Yeah, but you've got that guy, and he will fix it. I don't know if you're going to have to pay him something because it's going to cost money, at least for the part.
I'm probably going to end up going there and killing the guy.
It's not that big a deal. It's something you got to do on a car with that much mileage.
Yeah, it's probably either the hoses were bad or it was a regulation issue with the pressure with the radiator.
You're not dealing with a store, Bay. You're dealing with a guy who's trying to get rid of that car and he basically gave it to you for a song. I mean, if I could get most people can't. They never even look at a car unless it's double what you paid for it.
All right. Anyway, let's.
At least it wasn't on fire, Bay.
I'm trying to be an optimist, Bay. Come on.
We were going to cut the program, but we're back. We'll go a few more minutes and we'll cut it short tonight.
No, we can't cut it short. The show must go on.
Exactly. The show must go on.
Yeah, it's a little too much tonight. Bay,
no, it's not.
How's your day going?
I've been cutting branches with a chainsaw.
You want me to say it, Dan?
Right.
Can I say
do
it?
This was our best episode 27. Bay's car explodes. You know what? Can we do a little graphic afterwards?
Wait a second. There's one more city that has gone up in price in the last year exponentially, and that's New Brunswick, New Jersey.
That's close to me, about an hour and a half.
Why has it gone up 12%?
There's a lot of business up there in North Jersey. A lot of transportation. Yeah. There's a lot of educational facilities. There's good hospitals up there. So there's a lot of business up in North Jersey. I'm up there. I was up there a lot when I was in the transportation business.
And they probably don't let you build there either.
No, you can forget it there, Hub. It's every square inch is taken up in there. North Jersey just over. Who's got? Oh, Lauren's on. Hi, Lauren. You should have joined the program.
I told you, Bray. It's quite common. We got to look at the way it is. You got. If I could buy a car for that, I would have bought that car. If you wouldn't have bought it, I would have.
Want to buy it?
If it was in Dallas, I would have bought it. It's too far. You're 700, 800 miles from me.
That was Lauren, who owns NextHome Casabella Elite, down around Sarasota. He's in Gainesville today. He's all over the place. Lauren is a tech guru.
And we don't say radiator here. We say radiator.
Yes, because you're from the South there.
Southwest, whatever.
So, Bay, what's on your mind, Bay?
Bay, you have no idea. I had a gigantic tree just hit my house. It's still on there.
I wish the tree hit the car.
No, dude, you got a jewel right there, dude. That's a diamond in a goat's behind. You know who says that? Gas Monkey says that. It's a diamond in a goat's behind, and he doesn't use the word behind either. He uses another word.
It's been that type of running. Let's do that, Bay. That's a good time.
Let's pick the winner.
Listen, I have some dates, and you're also getting parking with this. 2 tickets and a VIP parking, which is 10 steps from the door.
We got a lot more to talk about, guys.
Okay, you ready?
Trying to get out of work. Trying to get out of hard work.
There's 9, I think it's 9 people entered. I picked a winner here. Let's see who the name is. Joanne Tracy.
Yes. So Joanne, let's put it out there on the social media, Bay. If she's not watching the podcast, which I know everyone does, she'll have to. The best thing to do is email me.
Okay.
Put my email address out there because I'll email her the tickets and the parking because it's great. I can just send her an email. She can accept the tickets, and I can give her a couple dates to choose from, and I will email her the tickets and the parking. Tell her to send it to the dpizzi14@gmail.com.
Okay, I have a question for you, Dan.
Yes.
They say that a lot of real estate offices are having a hard time keeping employees right now. Is that true?
Bay and I were talking about this before we got on. I coach basketball, and I kind of related to that. It's a challenge because there's a lot of demand, there's a lack of inventory, there's a lot of frustration, and there's less units being moved because there's a lack of inventory. Here's the problem. If you put out the consistent effort, Bay and I talked about this before we got on the program. If you put out the consistent effort, you could still do good business. And here's what's going on. The last several years prior to last year, especially the 4 years ago, and then 3 years ago, you were printing money. So everybody thought it was easy to sell houses, right? It was easy because there was a lot more volume and there was a lot more transactions. What we're seeing now, Hub, is the fact that it is not as busy as far as transactions, and people are just getting frustrated and they need the money. It's a business like anything. A lot of people are getting out of the business. So that's what we're seeing, and that's why I have a lot of people on my roster, and not everybody's successful right now. Why is that? There's a lot of circumstances. I'm doing very well, and I find the reason is that consistent effort and that consistent message. And when you do get business, you do it to the nines, to the best of your ability, so you can get referrals and you're top of mind for people when someone mentions somebody that you dealt with. Say, hey, I'm looking for a realtor. Hey, use my guy, and this is why.
Yeah, but they need extra coaching to make them have a better work ethic.
A lot of coaching going on. I'm not a coaching guy. I train on.
I didn't mean that word. I'm using the wrong word.
No, but let's talk about the coaching a minute. Coaching right now.
That's called the real estate guru. Is what that's called.
Yeah, but
that's not what I meant. What I mean, they need extra managing and strategy ideas on how to do it without. I mean, finding what works for them. They need some counseling or something that's going to work, because a coach is going to give you his method, but you really need to study a whole lot of different methods to to build your own method that's going to work.
That's true. I mean, and the way I look at it with real estate is, you're 1099 self-employed. And the motivation should be there all the time. Now, honing the tactics and the strategies and the relationships, but the way I do it is very old school. I see Lauren saying it, and Lauren does it different. Me and Lauren do business. It's the same service level. It's the same level of professionalism, but Lauren uses a lot more technology incorporated into his business, what makes him very efficient. I do things very old school, a little different style, and I'm successful with that business model. Me and him have talked a million times about kind of incorporating both, where I need to incorporate more tech into what I do. Okay,
so in my neighborhood, the average house is over 500,000 to 600,000 right now. Everything's gone up some in Dallas. It hasn't gone down in Dallas. Okay. I'm sure they're building a lot here, but it still hasn't gone down here. Okay, so let's say in my neighborhood right now, in the past month, there's typically been about 7 houses for sale, which is a lot for what we usually have around here. And in the last month, only 2 of them were sold. The last 2 months.
Is it? What do you think the reason?
Interest rates, man. It's interest rates, and the prices are up a little bit high.
Yeah, they are. But around here, they can't. I was just telling Bay before we got on that Lisa, who works for me, put in an offer for one of her clients, $45,000 over ask on a house that was barely livable out here in the Coatesville area, a small little farmette house, and it went for $50,000 over ask.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, is that the people here in this neighborhood, they've got a lot. They're basically anybody who wants to buy in this neighborhood is already, they're selling a house and they're buying a house, but it doesn't seem to be anybody who has not sold a house first.
Right.
And it could be couples or whatever. Maybe their daddy has some money that's going to help them out too. A lot of times.
Well,
their daddy's helping them, but they've also got a good job, probably a tech job or something.
We
What is somebody chopping some onions?
Yeah, who's chopping? Is Coco chopping? Coco's cooking. We should see what Coco's putting. There you go. Here's Lauren. Put it off for the $4.998 million. They rejected the offer. Oh, he put it $100,000 over, 4.998 of 4.899, right? So it was up for 4.899. He put in 4.998, and it was rejected.
Well, that's a super high-end like a McMansion house, ain't it?
Well, you know what? He's got a lot of new construction. He's down there in Florida, and Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, that area. So it's a totally different market down there. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it seems like every market is a different market now.
And it's drastic too. The swings. There you go. Lauren just said all cash, no contingencies on that house. They didn't get it.
Yeah, well, we just said that when we're saying that all these 5 cities I just talked about have gone up exponentially. So every single market seems to be not very consistent with the other market. Is that right?
Yeah, and it has. There's a lot of factors in there. There's a lot of variables in there. A lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I mean, we got right now, and I wanted to touch on the interest rates. They're high, still 7% right now on the interest rate. And I know in our region here, the house values, everything's selling at least 3% over ask for the most part in most sectors. So everything's selling pretty high.
Yeah, but that's driven by the fact they can't build there for some reason.
Yeah,
Boy, I'm getting hungry listening to all those pots and pans rattling.
I know. I think we had enough, honestly, this month.
No,
Bay,
we
give us the good out at this thing we've done this month, guys, because we got a lot going on here, and it's just like a train wreck.
I missed you guys so much, and you're trying to reject me now.
Hey, Bay, give us a good out of here, because we're going to come back early next month with another program. We had too much going on this month, and it's all, listen, live shit.
I'm going to have to tell you about my screwdrivers next month.
I know. We'll go in there next month. Bay, give us an out of here.
That's a great story here.
All right, everybody. NextHome Brandywine. We are the place to be in all the Delaware Valley, from Philadelphia all the way out to Lancaster to York and to Reading. We cover it all. Hey, even Allentown we'll go to. Hit us up. We will take care of you. We will not only that, we will guide you the most professional way through your real estate venture. We will get you into that next home or get you out of that next home and into another home.
And I'll tell you what, this proves that nothing's perfect. So and in real estate, a lot of things go wrong all the time. So we'll be there for you. We will guide you through the process. Nothing's perfect, just like this month's podcast. 27 shows. This was our train wreck podcast. It's all right. We're going to be back next month, Hub, with the screwdrivers. Bay's going to have another car story for us.
And we're
going to title this one, The Train Wreck. There you go.
I thought it was pretty good, man.
Oh, my God. Good night. Good to see everybody.